Nationally, we're looking at just over $300,000 for a house. So let me pull up Los Angeles and see what I can get for that amount. It's 928 square feet. Wow, for over 300 grand, you get a house that's gonna need to be completely gutted. You know, real estate in Los Angeles is expensive. A house like this would just get knocked down and you would build something that's like 3 times bigger and brand new. In order to get financed to buy a house, the house has to be livable. It looks like it was a Craftsman, and then at some point, they pulled off all the siding and replaced it with stucco. If you fixed it up, it would cost more than 100 grand, maybe $150,000 to turn this thing into a livable 928 square foot house. You could fix it up for that amount and you could sell it for 800, 900,000 easily. Investors are buying these dilapidated houses, and it's going to be replaced with 4 single family units will be put into this tiny little lot. 1,102 square feet. From the outside, it looks run down. It looks like there's a bunch of deferred maintenance, and that's going to be one of the things that's driving the price down. Major fixer, sold as is. Located on a lovely street, well-maintained properties. Investors, this house is convenient to the new stadium being built. Oh yeah. Even though it's a major fixer, potentially this house still is gonna qualify for a traditional mortgage. Anytime you're calling investors into a property, my expectation is they're gonna knock the house down and replace it with 2 to 3 times the size of square footage onto the property. You can't really see anything in the house, but the one picture they put up was pretty nice. But if you're being told that the whole thing is a major fixer, I imagine like with some of the other properties, there's some rooms in here that are just a total disaster. A 700 square foot house, tiny. It must just be like a little rectangle of a house. So all of these houses that are close to the national average for a house are basically just investor opportunities in Los Angeles. This is meant to be a rental property. It's already existing as a rental property. Because the tenant has a lease, they're gonna get to stay in the building. This property actually having a tenant is that, you know, it's at least still livable. This is a 2 bedroom, 1 bath property on the records, which means at some point in time, they've added square footage illegally and put a bathroom in without getting it permitted. Whoever buys this is also gonna need to go through the process of updating the property records. This seems like a pretty good investment opportunity. 816 square feet. It's got a little bit of land. It's just generally kind of run down, but you know, they put a new floor in at some point, even though it's coming up a bit. The cabinets and the counter look like they're still usable. This place is in good enough shape for a tenant to live there. Driveway shares with the neighbor next door. Not great, but at least you got a driveway. Looks like there's a little garage in the back. I would turn that into an ADU, the accessory dwelling unit, and you would turn this whole property from, you know, a 1 single family dwelling to 2 units on the same property. That kind of investment is absolutely worth doing. This is happening all over the city, it's happening all over the state because there's a housing shortage. What can you get for $500,000 in LA? It's 500 grand, but you get 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 1,400 square feet. And this whole thing is gonna need to be completely redone. But it's a big property. You can put a whole ADU on the back of there. Cash offers only. This house is not gonna qualify for financing. 580 square feet. You can already tell this house has been redone already. Really nicely appointed inside. You can definitely see yourself living in this kind of like bright new space, but it's gonna be small. This is wonderful. This is, I think when you're doing a flip, this is the kind of property that everybody should be aiming to. That's kind of the level of quality you should be aiming for. Really efficient spacing. 1,911 square feet, 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, fresh paint, new fence. Inside is clean. They've got nice modern furniture inside, so you really get a feel for what the space could be. This looks great. It looks like as long as the builder, you know, replaced all of the actual systems, then this would be a great house to get into. It looks like the garage has already been turned into a separate living space or an ADU. They've already done it for you. 2 bedroom, 2 bath, 1,025 square foot place. This was probably renovated by the people who live there. So they did it for themselves. This doesn't look like it was a flip. It's pretty nice inside, a little Murphy bed for your guest bedroom. So for $1 million, you get a house that's not entirely brand new, but it's in a great part of the city, and you can just kind of bring your own personal touches to it and be ready to go. Backyard doesn't have an ADU, but it does have a shed. 1,000 square feet. It's not huge, but it's enough to get your family started. You get 1,100 square feet in Venice, right on the canals. It's a nice house, modest, nothing lavish or extravagant. It's just a house in a really good location. For 1.6 million, you still gotta do work. It's a busy part of the city, busiest part of Venice. 1,400 square feet, you get a house it's not been renovated, but it's been cleaned. All they did was they brought the floors back to their original glory. They added recessed lighting throughout the whole place. They kept some of the original features like this brick fireplace. It hasn't been totally renovated to the point where you're paying for somebody else's bad decisions. Once the kitchen is renovated, that would add probably a couple $100,000 to the list price. So this way, you get the benefit of a little bit less expensive house and the advantage of being able to really turn that kitchen into the kitchen that you want. Technically, you could move into it, and if you could live with the kitchen in its current shape, you don't have to renovate it right after you took on the mortgage. What you'll see in LA is it's an expensive place to buy real estate.